Hello everyone. How's it going? Am I live? Am I live? Let's see if I'm live. Hello everyone. How's it going? How's it going? Going live after a long time. Mostly I won't be live for long. That's why I didn't even set up my camera to go online and set up the lights and all that. But yeah, um, that is that. That's that. Anybody watching me right now? I also want to see if my voice is okay, so I'll just quickly switch over and see the voice, and then come back. Let's see if I'm live. I also want to see if my voice is okay, so I'll just quickly switch over. Oh, cool. My voice is crisp, clear, I feel. So I think we can go ahead. Cool. The reason why my camera is not switched on because there's some stuff going on in my background right now, and I really cannot stop that. So I didn't quite want to switch on my camera and be in the way. That's one thing. Okay, so what are we doing today? What are we doing today? We are going to be working on some Leetcode problems, right? So why Leetcode? Why not Leetcode? So I have been working on this website. Oh, wait, did I just... Okay, I closed Firefox. That's fair. I'm calling it seedcode.com and seedcode.com. Yeah, sorry for that. So I'm working on seedcode.com and I'm just going to quickly open up. I think it's this. Yeah. That's gonna make sense. Okay, so I am muted. That's fair. So this is it, and I'm just gonna quickly pop this out. Pop out chat. Cool. Okay, cool. Yeah. Can I just zoom in that guy? Okay, cool. So seedcode.com. What is seedcode.com? Now, this entire website design has been done through chat. No, I think I use Claude for it. So even the logo and stuff that you see, of course, you have a live cursor on the logo, so it's definitely not me. Definitely not like I'm not a design guy. So this entire thing has been designed by Cloud Code. But yeah, I did a pretty fair, decent enough job where it has a good contrast. I feel the contrast is a little bit still like a little less because this green sometimes can be annoying. But now I have this green in the logo, cannot go back, blah blah blah, things like that. But yeah, whatever. But yeah, so the entire problem statement here is that I'm just for fun learning C and maybe learning some algorithms. I am going to try and solve the Leetcode problems in C. That's my take. I have never done a CS degree, probably. I've mentioned this a lot of times. So I have never really coded a lot in C. So my entire understanding is just looking at other people's code and reading other people's code. But I think it's high time that I just wanted to learn C and do some stuff. Well, how do I do that? I felt this is one of the ways to become more comfortable with the syntax, comfortable with memory management, etc., etc., etc. That's what I think it was. Okay. So yeah, Leetcode problems, and yeah, the design is pretty intuitive. You can just go to the website and just look at the solutions. It's nothing. It's very simple. You have the name of the problem. You have a little bit approach on how I'm working on this, the time complexity, the space complexity, and then you have a nice code. Uh, one thing to, of course, understand is that maybe at times the code might not be very C-like. There can be more ways to bring in optimizations out of it. So yeah, I'm just learning. You can leave in comments. I just recently added that. You can leave in comments if you're actually signed in with GitHub. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And how do I do that? If you just want to know how I do that, so github.com. So everything lives here. This is a source code. It's under MIT license. So yeah, it's under MIT license, and I actually have handwritten a generator, which basically is a static site generator. So it's in Go, and what it does is it actually goes through some of the solutions that I have written in problems. And inside the problems, you have two files: a solution C, which has some front matter, which has some front matter, and etc. Things like that. And it has notes, which is in an MD file, which says approach and complexity. If you're interested to look at the generator, maybe you can go and see there. Okay, so that's pretty something I feel, which is, how do I, what you're pinging me, buddy? Like what? Yeah, I'm not sure why it's that. Anyways, whatever. Yeah, cool. Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. So let's actually, before, because I also probably have to go out. So before I have to do all of that stuff, I wanted to quickly maybe do a couple of problems. So I'm taking up the blind 75. In the past week, I was offline. I was traveling for some personal work, and yeah, like I couldn't do anything. So at the night, sometimes just for fun, I would actually do some of the problems, and I actually क्या problem है तुझे? My Firefox keeps reinstalling itself. I don't know what is the issue. Whatever. So yeah, I have done pretty much like I've been going through the blind 75, and I'm planning to do that. And since it's a short stream, I didn't want to go into maybe medium, so I just sorted it by difficulty right now. Usually I sort it by ID, and I just go like that. So let's get coding. I think I have given enough information except for coding, right? So I have my ID up and running. If anybody's watching me live right now, and if you feel the font is not good, just like the size is not good, just let me know. Cool. Or if any questions, you can just put it on the chat. I'll try to take it up. Okay. So, so we have to run the generator. So let's go there, and I think it's make dev. Yeah. So if I run make dev, it will. Yeah, this is a dev one, and you can see there's a lot of more problems because I have something called draft. But yeah, that's not what we are doing. Okay, so let's actually go with this climbing stairs because yeah. So that's the next one, climbing stairs, and I hope my NVim setup is still working, NeoVim, because I have recently started that, and I was playing around with it a bit yesterday, and it got fucked. So, anyways, so problems are okay. You also have a makefile here. For what reason, I have no idea. So I can just format. Okay. But I don't have a clang for this thing here. I have a clang here. Do I not? Yeah, I have a clang format here, which means my makefile here doesn't quite work because yeah, whatever. Anyways, I don't use the makefiles. Cool. So the problem we are doing is 70. So make there 0070 climbing stairs. So this is what we are doing. 70. The very first thing we are doing is a solution C, and what we will do is split 3 1 something. Yeah, so we're just gonna go here and yoink this guy. Paste this here. Cool. Okay, so this is 70, and this is climbing stairs. I think this was easy. What are the tags that we have in here? Match dynamic programming memorization. Match dynamic programming memorization. I mean, yeah. And here, copy that. Go back here. Okay, cool. So let's actually try and solve the problem. It's a pretty straightforward problem, I think. You're climbing a staircase. It takes n steps to reach the top. Each time you either can climb 1 or 2 steps. So think of the times when you were a kid and you tried to skip the steps and you tried to figure, I don't know, like I did when I was a kid, where I tried to jump across 3 steps at a time. Thankfully, my hips are still alive. But you try to do that and it's kind of that problem. So only thing that I actually look here is that I was actually trying to do this and I thought, okay, let me just quickly stream. The only thing that I'm trying to do here is when n is 1. So like what is the top? So n cannot be 0, as we can see here. N cannot be 0. I hope it's actually visible. Yeah, so okay, so n cannot be 0 if you see here, which means basically if there is one step, you're here and you only have one way to go to the top. Okay, I have to connect my tab, so I'm not taking it out for now. You go here, which is 1. So if there's one step, you have 1. If there are 2 steps, you have 2 ways, right? There is 2 steps, so you can go here and then you can go here. And it kind of already becomes a dynamic problem because for each and every step that you take, you have 2 different options, right? So as an example, let's take 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So when I'm here, I have 2 different options. I can take a step, I can take two steps. When I'm here, I have 2 different options, right? I can take a step, 1 step or 2 steps. So if you come back from this thing, so when you're at top, so when you're at the top, you really don't have a choice. You really don't have a choice. The number of steps that you can take is 0 because you already reached the top. So we can always start from n minus 1. All right. So when you're like, if you look at it, if you write n minus 1 in here, what is the number of steps that you can take? The number of choices that you can only take is 1 because you cannot overshoot. So let's just think of there's a plank and you really cannot. Okay, my bad. My camera is off, so I'm moving my hand around. That's pretty stupid. Anyways, so this is basically it. So when you're at n minus 1, the choice that you have is 1. When you're n minus 2, you kind of have 2 choices because you can either go to n minus 1 or you can directly go to n. So you have 2 choices in here. When you're at n minus 3, you again have 2 more choices because you can go to n minus 2, n minus 1, right? So you have again 2 more choices in here. So including that, you are basically gonna say that how many different options you have. But if I remember correctly, there's a Fibonacci or some kind of weird pattern which comes up because if you have 5, so you can take all 1 steps. So that would be 1. Then you can go here. Then you can go, yeah. So let's actually do because Fibonacci number or something like that is there. So yeah, we can cheat the system a little bit and say, okay, let me just try and figure out all the answers and see what happens. Yeah, like why not, right? And have to be values from 1 to where did I, okay, so that's probably 6. Okay, that's probably 8. Who's listening? What do you mean, who's listening? I don't get the question. Navish. When n is 2, you are expecting 2. N is 3, you're expecting 3. N is 1, you're expecting 1. That's fair. When n is 4, you're expecting 5. When n is 5, you're expecting 8. So let's actually put down the pattern in here. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. So when n is 5, you're expecting 8, right? So this is 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 steps. So let's quickly go to 6. 6 is 13. We again have 6, paste 34. Cool. So 6 is 13 and 7 is 34. Wait, 7 is 34. Oh, damn, we have 8. Shit, I actually forgot to do. So let's quickly change the test case from this to 7. Anyways, I think we care about 7 and 8 right now. So 7 is 21, 8 is 34. 7 is 21, 8 is 34. So if you look at the pattern, if we just say n is 1, it's 1. N is 2, it's 2. When it's 3, it's a summation of the previous two. That's all I need to have, right? That's all I need to have. So it's not factorial, it's a Fibonacci series. You start with 1 and 2, or you can even start with 1 and 0, because by the end of the day, you know that 0 is not an answer. 0 is not a viable thing, so you can always fall back and say that this is my answer, because n is 1, so you would always do a single iteration of addition, and this would become 1. And you can just say that's that. Cool, I think we can get started. Does that make sense? Does that make any sense? Okay. Okay. We can be very simple in this, and we can say int a is 0, b is 1, and we can simply say while n is greater than 0, int temp equals a plus b, a equals b, and b equals temp, n minus minus, and then in here I'm just gonna return a. So if you look at it, the very first iteration n is greater than 0, yes, that's true, and this this is gonna iterate it once, which means that we are gonna actually end up swapping these two out, which means a would become 1. So that's basically the answer. And well, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go here and run this guy and see if that runs. Everything is wrong. Awesome. Why is that? Why is that? Did I do something completely stupid? A is B, B is temp. What the fuck? So when n is 2, the very first time temp is 1. A becomes 1, B becomes 1. And then you move forward. Aha! I am doing something stupid, I think, because for a Fibonacci series, even for a Fibonacci series, I always start with 0, 1, then it becomes 1, then it becomes 2. So I have to skip over one step. But in here, that is not the case. So it's always this particular thing: 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Well, one of the tricks we can actually do and not think a lot about maths is so in here I can always say this is this, this is this, and we can say n equal if n equals 1, return 1, return a. No, so in here we can just say 2. Is that not it? Because till the time n is greater than 2, you would go ahead and iterate and swap the values. Maybe I'm doing something completely stupid. can be possible. I've eaten a lot of rice and my brain has gone a little numb right now. Yeah, that's not right. Output is 1. I think I have to shift them by 1. So yeah, maybe I have to do that. Oh, why did I have to do that? Because when n is 2, I still want to take an iteration, and okay, that makes sense. And this will swap out. Awesome. Runtime error, signed overflow, blah, 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 blah. So int cannot be an answer, but you're expecting int to be an answer. But the problem is, I think, what? And it errored out at 45. So we can always do a long and do the addition, and I don't know if I have to cast it too long, but then it's always going to say that you're returning a wrong type. Yeah, so if I submit this, what do you expect now? That's fucking weird. That is not... So you should always expect, because here is my answer to this. So if I just go to a test case and just do 45, since there was an overflow, you would have gone the other way and having a negative number. Well, this is greater than... Is something off, or am I going crazy? 31 minus 1. No, how is it then? Hey, hello. How's it going? How is it going? Yeah, I don't know what is Leetcode expecting from here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna say this is long, and here this is long. Do I need to... I probably need to typecast it. Cast it. Yeah. What didn't work? Now what didn't work? What? This is 1, my bad. I didn't make the correction there. So, okay, cool. So what I have to do is go to problems, 007, this thing, and I have to make a notes. Approach. This is a 1D. At every step, except n minus 1th step, you have 2 choices. Either go to current plus 1, or current plus 2. Drawing the tree, this becomes a 1D DP problem. If you are trying a bottom-up approach, we end up getting a Fibonacci pattern, which starts at 1 and 2. That's all. I think it's called complexity. I don't remember. We'll see. So time complexity is O of n, and space is O of 1. So that is what we have. So let's quickly see if this thing works fine. 70 is this. Yeah, at every step except this step, you have two choices: either go to current plus 1 or current plus 2. Drawing the tree, this becomes a 1D problem. If you're trying a bottoms up approach, we end up getting a Fibonacci pattern which starts at 1 and 2. I don't quite like that. What I'm going to quickly do here is Claude. Check the solution and notes for problems 70. Check the approach and maybe have better wordings to be precise and concise. Brevity is clear. Okay, so while it actually does that, I'm just gonna go to problems. Well, yeah, but we are done with that, so we can move on. So let's quickly go to the next string. Same tree. Oh man, it's a tree problem, which means alloc and all that would be there. It's not there, thankfully. So given the roots of two binary tree, P and Q, write a function to check if they are same or not. One thing I forgot to do is actually the last move to reach step is either a +1 from A or +2 from A. So ways to reach is this: the Fibonacci recurrence. The base case is we computing bottoms up with rolling variables, avoid recursion, and keeps. Yeah, that Claude is pretty good with words, I guess. Thank you so much. Awesome. Okay, now, yeah, you don't do anything else. One thing I forgot to do was not make it a draft. 70. So in here, okay, so now that would be publishing. Okay, so we are in problems, and in here I am going to first see what same tree, 0 100 same tree slash. Well, I have to delete this. Yes, this is not where I want to be. I want to go to problems, and this is where I'm going to say 0 1 0 0 same tree slash, right? And in here, solution C. So let's actually open this and edit the file, which is 3 1 something. Maybe I'm one step above. Not edit. I think it's, yeah, it's edit, right? Oh, so I am here. So I have to go to problems, 3 1 this solution, and I wanna, this guy. I wanna go here, paste it here. 100 same tree. I think it was easy. La, 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 la. What are the tags that you have? So the tags that you have is tree, DFS, BFS, binary search. So I'm gonna say tree. I'm not gonna write the entire thing. I'm gonna say BFS, DFS, binary tree. I think that should be fair. Okay, so you have this kind of a definition in here, which is this. Man, I should be okay. So you have a struct tree node, which is int val, and then you have struct tree node pointer towards left, and you have to write one of the things I feel is important in here is I'm just gonna say type def struct the node. Can you type? I don't think so. Yeah, I guess now I don't have to use struct. Yeah, so this is what we are going to do. This is what we are going to use, right? So um keep it up, bro. Thank you. I'm just doing it for recreation, that's all. I'm sorry my camera is not on, because I don't want to put on the lights, set up the lights and all that right now. I just traveled back yesterday and I just was doing this, and I'll be going out in some time, so I just didn't want to spend a lot of time on this stuff. So I just came online. That's all. Yeah, this particular problem is again pretty simple. We can have two pointers and we go down simultaneously. So we traverse two trees simultaneously, right? And at a point when both are different, both the nodes are different, you can simply say false and you just accumulate those. So if you have a single false, everything else is false. If you don't have a single false, I mean, that's a dumb thing to say, but yeah, in general, if you have something like all truths, it would be basically true. I think what we can do is we don't need an internal function. We can do this thing in here. We can do the same thing in here. So how do we do that? We have two pointers, p and q. So usually what I would like to do is if p is equal to null, sorry, and q is null, if both of them are null, this is a terminal state, so you have reached a null condition, and this is where I would like to say return true. But if p is null, or q is null, this would be returned false. The reason behind that is, well, for one of the trees, whichever is null, it's a false, it's a terminal condition, and you really cannot go ahead from there. And we already checked that if both the nodes are pointing to null, which means both the nodes are after the terminal node. So if that is not the case, well, we have reached a place where it's false, so we can just say bye bye. Right. So another thing now is we have to say we have to now, so at this point none of them are null. So, and I think this null thing is also, if I'm not wrong, well, that is not what I want to do. Use of undeclared null. So I think I have to include std lib. I really don't know. Std lib should fix that. Yeah, okay. Well, it didn't fix it. Def that didn't fix it either, so that's pretty fucking weird. Okay, we are not gonna spend time there. Um, we'll see. Use of undeclared identifier and null. Am I doing something wrong? Do you do? No, nil is go, right? So it's not nil. So it's definitely not nil. By the way, if anybody's watching me right now, can you just tell me how my voice is? Is it clear? Is it crisp? Is it too loud? Because I had a lot of issues when I moved and I had to set up the audio again, and I realized I'm just putting the mic in a very wrong position to my mouth. And just let me know if you're watching me right now, and if you can chat, if you can let me know that if the voice is crisp, the voice is clear, and things like that. Okay, so another thing that we know is p, which is a pointer, so an arrow, val is not equal to q val. So in here also I'm gonna return false. Right, in here also I'm gonna return false. So in all of the cases I'm gonna return false, because if both, I mean, sorry, one is true, two are false, we can actually, put in a gap between the two cases. Now all we have to do is, because at this particular point we know that the values are also same, so this particular node is so this particular node is true, and this particular two nodes are correct. So I need to look at the subtree. This is where more DFS or BFS search thing comes into place, because how you're traversing, I feel, matters. But yeah, so I think we are going down the depth for us. We are going down the depth. So this is because it's a stack based, it's a recursive call. So it's a stack based thing. So it's a DFS, if I'm not wrong. I may be wrong. I don't know. So what do you want to do now? So basically I want to go down on the left for both of them, on the right for both of them, and both the subtrees, both the children subtrees are same trees, and that is when the parent would be the same, because the value is the same at this point. So is same tree. I call this, and I say left q left. So this is right now. This is right now. And what do you have to say? Both the both the conditions have to be met. That is when I can say whatever is the condition, you simply return that. You simply return that. Okay, what are you crying about? Unknown type bool. Okay, so because he doesn't have type bool, I think it's std bool. Okay, so now it's complaining more about something else, undeclared variable. So is it std lib? Are you there? I think it's an std lib. Okay, cool. It's an std lib. And I feel that's the solution. We can take this, nuke it. Oh, we also need the struct thing, which is already there, but we can comment this out, suppose. And let's see, that runs fine. Awesome. Okay, for the problem, problems 0100 solution. So let's actually make a tab, if I'm not wrong. Tab edit, something like that, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Notes empty. So you have this. So let me just do that. 0100. Wait, where did I create the notes? Motherfucker, where did I create the notes? Did I create a note somewhere here? Somewhere here, yeah. So here I create notes. The notes.md file is created. So I will also say approach complexity. The approach you take is a recursive call to the same function, trying to answer if the subtree of my children may be the current node. Is the answer true? Is the answer to the question, is same tree true? This is implicitly a DFS traversal since we used recursion. So check the solution and add the approach in the nodes.md file. Be precise. I should come up with CloudMD, honestly. Be precise, concise, but explanatory. Let's see what kind of crap it actually comes up with. Meanwhile, you don't have permission for anything. You really don't have permission for anything. I have to set up Claude more better, I feel. Okay, just give me a second. I'll be quickly back. 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back and I'm just switching on the camera because, yeah, whatever. Whatever was happening behind me is gone. Okay, whatever was happening behind me is gone. I'm still not setting up the light because, like I said, I need to go out, so I'll probably be more quick. Maybe half an hour more I'll stream. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. We'll see. Okay. Two trees are the same with the roots match, and the left and right subtrees are pairwise the same. The definition is recursive, so the function calls itself on the child pairs, children pairs, child pairs, whatever. For the current pair of nodes, check they agree. Then delegate the same question to P left and here makes sense. Each call resolves in order. Both null, this branch is the same, return true, exactly one null, or the value differs, the structure value mismatch makes sense, otherwise recursive both children. The AND shortcut, so the first mismatch anyway stops the descent since a recursion follows each path down backtracking. This is an implicit traversal of two trees. One of the things I always try and understand this is that, oh, it's a recursive call, so there's a stack. So for DFS is a stack, for BFS is a queue. Again, I may be wrong that you always do that, but that's how I always kind of remember. O of n, because you have to travel all the nodes, because you're doing a stack based this thing, you go for log of n, which is the height of the tree. Makes sense. That kind of makes sense. Sorry. Cool. We can go to the next problem. One more thing I again forgot. Problems 0, 0, 1. Same tree solution. Since we are good with this, we can remove the draft and just publish it. Let's actually see. Same tree. Cool. Yeah. Where, and I don't like this. I definitely don't like this, which means something is off in here. Wait a second, what is off? If I go to free sum, this is correct. Aha, I know what is wrong. So problems 0, 100 notes. How do I do that? Yeah, let's actually see if that fixed it. Yes, this is how I want it for the recursion stack, where it is blah 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 blah. Cool. Next problem, sir. Maximum depth of a binary tree. Yeah. Given the root of a binary tree return its maximum depth. A binary tree's maximum depth is the number of nodes along the. Okay, but the depth here is 3 because 1, 2, 3 makes sense. Sorry. Well, a simple solution can be here. Hi, Nakshatra Gori. Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? Cool. Hello, how are you doing? So, I think this is a much more easier solution. So, you have 3, 9, 20, 15, 17. So, you have 3, 9, 20, 15, something, 7 or something. Really doesn't matter what the value is, right? So, what we can do, we can recurse down the tree and we can see, since the depth here is since the depth here is a number of nodes here, the answer is 3. So you can see this is at depth 1. So if I go the other way around, sorry, I can say the terminal node is at depth 1. And then if you go up 1, I can always say 1 plus, uh, 1 plus. What is the depth of this? The depth of this will be the maximum of this guy and this guy. 1 plus maximum of left and right. So because there can be more branches here, right? So since I'm trying to get the maximum depth, whatever maximum depth I get from a single child, that's what I'm going to consider to actually provide you with the answer. Makes sense? Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. And then what happens is, well, you don't have to do an you don't have to keep a pointer to some kind of other maximum, because whatever you get at this, whatever you get at the top, whatever you get at the root is the answer, because it's the depth. It's not like there's also another problem where you have to figure out the number of sums and things like that. It's not that. So this is not something where you have to think of that, right? So it's just simply where you have down the root. Yeah. So we can do one thing. Problems 104 maxi. Well, you know what? I really don't wanna. About that. Uh, So let me copy over a solution from 100 solution, and yeah, we just copy it over. Right. So this here is 104. This here is, we can copy this. Copy this, and let's see. This is easy. Hope so. This is the same. Tree breakfast makes sense, and here, yeah, cool. So I don't think I need this. I don't think I need this. The structure is the exact same. So here is something that I don't need. Cool. I think we can do it here. One of the things I want to see is, yeah, the number of nodes in the tree is also in the range of 0 to 10 to the power 4, which means that there can be null. So I can say if root is null, we can say 0. Makes sense? Makes sense? Makes sense. Okay. So now what I do want to do is root left. I want to get the maximum depth at root left, and this here can be int left, I'm just gonna call it. What is happening? Okay, so we can simply replace left with right. Why did it not replace the other one? I have no idea, but yeah. So return 1 plus max of left and right. So even when these, so let's just consider this a single node. So there's a single node, and you try and recurse round. So what happens? This does not hit, so it comes here. It goes to the left. It just comes 0. This comes 0. The max of 0 and 0. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry for that. I hope it was not loud. Include in, can you just be like stdlib? Yeah, but I don't quite remember where max comes from. Do we have a not help buddy? Do we have a man page for max? We do have. Awesome. What just happened? But how many places are this thing defined? Null, because that's what it is, right? Check problem 014. Check the solution C and create the proper most relevant for this. Okay, submit. Time for a submission. This goes through. So how many easy ones did we do? Best time to buy a stock and sell. Yeah, I remember this is another dynamic problem kind of thing, or whatever it is. Let's see if we do that. Valid palindrome linked list cycle. I kind of forgetting the solutions. The depth of a tree is 1 for the group itself plus the depth of its deepest subtree. This definition is recursive, so the function asks the same question of each child and compiles the answer. Null node empty tree, depth 0, otherwise recurs into both children, take the larger depth and add 1. Because each call must resolve both children before it can return, this is a post-DF, that makes sense. So you don't return what you get back, you first recurse and then you get back, but yeah, okay, whatever. Complexity time every visit this thing of h for the recursion of log n, and when balanced and when skewed. Boom, this makes sense. I just hope maximum depth of mine tree. Yeah, this makes sense. Cool. Cool. Okay, let's go to the next one. Best time to buy and sell stock. Anybody actually solve this problem? It's a pretty easy problem, I feel. And I was reading an article about this or I was watching a video, I don't quite remember. There was discussions of dynamic problem and all of that. So the first time I actually started solving Leetcode, this was one of the first problems that I solved after 2sum. And I thought in this way, and it actually solved. And then after that, I learned about dynamic programming. And I was like, oh, this was fucking dynamic programming. Like, I didn't even know. Like, even after learning dynamic programming, I didn't even know that this was it, because I learned the tree-based dynamic programming. Then I learned that you can go the other way. That is when I realized, oh, this is kind of like going the other way, right? Anyways, because why is it a dynamic programming? It can be a very simple question. The question is good because how I understand about dynamic programming is that at every step, you have a couple of decisions to take, which actually affects the outcome of the larger input. So what I mean by that is I'm at step something, let's say 0, and the next step I have to go is step 1. To go to step 1, I have multiple options to do. So just to give an example here, these are all the stock prices. So let's say that you actually know the stock prices from the future next 7 days today, right? In here, what you can see is that I have 2 different choices today. I can buy a stock. I might not buy a stock. If you buy a stock, this choice on the next day affects the question whether you sell the stock or you hold the stock. If you don't buy the stock, next day the question again comes if you can buy the stock or just don't buy it and move on. So you have options there. This is how I feel that you can do a decision tree, that at every place you have 2 or much more decisions to make, choices to make. And if you go down a path, the next solution would have a bunch of other decisions. And if you define the tree, and if you come down from the nodes of saying, oh, this is how like all of my choices are affecting the previous one, right? So in the other one, right, how the depth of the lower nodes, the terminal nodes, are affecting the actual depth of the higher nodes. If you think in that way, the answer, the outcome happening at the very end, because you took different paths, accumulates together to find the path at the top. And if you have all the answers, you can say what's the optimal thing to do. This is how I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my thought process is wrong. I don't know. This is how I always feel about dynamic programming, that this is how you should build up an intuition. Oh, I have a couple of options to take at this place. So whatever option I take, it's going to also affect what options I can take in the next step. And it's always not going to be 1. It can be 1 or 2 options. It can be 0 options also. So you always have that one path that you have to take when you're down the tree. But yeah, that's how it is. Cool. But this problem, I think in a different way. I don't know if it's a top-down approach or bottoms up or whatever the fuck it is. The very first day I solved the problem, I thought about it a lot. I don't know, back in 2020 or something, I was thinking about this problem. And I thought in this way, that what if... oh damn, I kind of forgot what I thought about. Hold on one sec, let me just think it through. So on this day, I can say that you can never. Hmm. Ah, right. So yeah, I remember by choosing a single day to buy one stock and choosing a different day to sell in the future stocks. What happens is that if you're choosing to buy today, at any given point of time you can sell. If you're choosing to buy today, at any given point of time you can sell. If you're buying here, at any given point of time you can sell, right? So what I think I thought about was, keep okay. I think this is the last problem that we'll solve because it's already 5:30. I didn't quite see. This is the last problem that we'll solve when we go. Then maybe the night we can come back online if I want. I was working on a sorry, I was working on trying to get my first video out um on something. I was working on something, but I don't know if I will have time to work on that today. I still have some office work left, so I have to look into that. But if I don't have a lot of energy, I might come and do some this kind of crap. Okay, anyways, coming back to the point. So, one of the things I feel we can talk in terms of is the previous buy price. So, I always think in this way. I always think in this way that what's the previous buy price? Uh, Return the maximum profit. If you cannot achieve anything, that's fine. But yeah, so one of the things we have in that the prices can never be negative. The prices are like, to be fair, the prices can never be zero also, but the least you can have is zero. So what I had to say was not previous buying price. You can just say buying price. So at this position, my buying price, I don't have anything. So my buying price is -1 and my profit is 0. Okay, my profit is 0. So what I usually would do is I would say, oh, because I have a single day to buy, why I just don't buy it here. So I would first set buying price to whatever the first price is, 7, and my profit is 0. I start my iteration from here. I see the price. Is it greater than my buying price? No, but it's less than my buying price. So since this problem says that I can buy on a single day and sell on a single day, why don't I just say that, hey, why don't I change the buying price? Because my current buy price is less than what I am assuming I will buy at, it's already less, why can't I? So I would just switch away and say it's 1. Why can I do this? Because thinking this way, that 7 is a number that I'm buying at. Thinking in future it will be something greater than 7. While scanning, I've already found out that there's something less than 7, which means that even after that, if I encounter something which is greater than 7, I would be making more profit, right? So why not? I'm a future seer. What is what is it called? There's a word for it, right? Who can see the future? People who can see. Called seer, a clairvoyant. Yeah, clairvoyant, right? So somebody who can see into the future. So since I can see into the future, why can't I just buy at this price? So I change my buying price to 1 and I don't touch my profit. I go to 5 and I say, hey, this is greater than 1. So let me say that I'm selling it. I'm not going to change the buying price. I'm going to calculate the profit, which is 4. In this case, 4, which is greater than 0. So you set it to 4. Okay. You come to 3 and 3 is like, oh, it's still not less. So we'll just calculate the profit. Profit is 2, it's not greater, so it doesn't matter. We move on. 6, profit will be 5, this will be greater. So whatever buying price I have, I'm going to take from there, I'm going to move forward. If I find something less, I'm going to set the buying price to that. If I find something more, I'm just going to assume that I'm selling it. technically speaking, I'm not selling it, right? Because you still have the values from the future. So why don't I just calculate the profit and see what is the maximum profit I can get? Make sense? Make sense? I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Okay, cool. So, make there, what is it? The 1 to 1. Can I copy this from here? This is this 0 1 2 1 solution. This thing. Well, we have to copy over some more stuff. Spell dump. What the heck is that? Spell check is not possible. Why? Why can't you spell check? It's a text file written in English. Why can't you spell check? That's weird. That is weird. Oh wow. There are 13 people looking at me right now. Wow, thank you so much, everybody. I didn't know. I mean, yeah, Leetcode probably always pulls in people, but it's good. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. But this is most likely the last solution that I do. Well, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to edit. Bro, do you know Python? Yeah, I know Python. I know a little bit of Python. So now, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, okay, so let's quickly see. So where am I right now? Problems. So I want to split this. Problems. Okay. Yeah, so this is fair. And let's open this. Okay. So this was 121. This is a huge ass name, so let me copy paste this thing. Bro, do you know Python? Okay, you have some keyboard issues, buddy. I think. Arrays and dynamic programming. Dynamic, is it? Spelling, yeah. Program. So I also want this to be draft for now. So yeah. So let's go with the exact thing. One thing. Oh shit! My Coke was about to get spilled, but thank God. If you're asking me if I know dynamic program, sorry, Python or not, yeah, I mean, language shouldn't really be a thing. Language shouldn't really be a thing, honestly, in my opinion. It should be the last thing that you actually think about. I didn't even know that. I solved 780 problems with Python. Java, I've solved 509 problems. So Java has been my bread and butter for the most amount of time. JavaScript I have tried out. Kotlin I have tried out. Go I have tried out. TypeScript is... Why is Python? Oh, okay, so Python 3. My bad. But yeah, whenever I want to try out some programming languages, this is not now, before, I would just come to Leetcode and do that. Maybe it's a good idea, maybe it's not. Yeah, whatever. Cool. Okay, so let's get back to programming. So what we said is very clear. So we always go from, so we wanted to also confirm one thing. Yeah, so prices.length is, if you're a software engineer, if you're thinking in terms of language, you're thinking in terms of the wrong thing. Maybe that happens when you're young. When I was young, even till 4-5 years back, I used to think the same thing. That's completely wrong. You should think in terms of construct. You should think in terms of making the computer do what you want, thinking in terms of specs, thinking in terms of system, depending on which level you are. And not level, I mean like senior engineer or something like that. At which what level of problem you're solving. So if you're solving a problem at a bigger scale right now, you're just looking at a picture from a high level scale, you would look at a more system design and architecture of looking at how to solve certain problems, how to make two systems talk to each other, come back down. If you're writing an application, what all things you need? You need an HTTP server, you need a route, you need two routes, you need a service, you need a way to talk to DB. Programming language shouldn't matter. Anyways, you guys gonna eat up all the jobs, right? Apparently. So programming language should never matter. It should all be about how you think, how you approach a problem, how you solve the problem. Every programming language has different constructs. They're semantically different. Sometimes they're semantically same, but whatever it is, they are all made to talk to the CPU to make the CPU do something. So it's all zeros and ones at the end of the day. And that's the truth. If you look at type, which is int, string, whatever, float, decimal, somebody calls it float, somebody calls it decimal, they're nothing. End of the day, over the wire, it's zeros and ones, nothing else. Bare bones. That's all. Anyways, get back into the problem. Yeah, so the length is 1, so we should be good there. We can even assert that price's size is greater than 0. I mean, it's already given, but we can do that. Why not? Okay, it's cool. What is the next thing that we want to do? So we can quickly go back to the diagram and we can say that, okay, so everything is int by price is prices of 0. We can safely access this because this is this, and int max profit is also 0, right? So for int I equals 1, can I type? I don't think so. I'm still learning to type, honestly. I have this thing, and then int price. So let's extract it out for now. Prices of I. Are you learning C some project? HFTs. What is HFTs? If you're learning from scratch, what do you learn first? I think Python is the way to go if you're learning from scratch. Learning from scratch programming or what? Yeah, I'm guessing that's your question, but Python probably should be the one to go right now. I would say, depending on how deep you want to go into engineering, so if you really want to excel in engineering, or if you really want to love it and then learn it, at some point you probably have to come back to C. At some point, hopefully you even go further and go and learn fucking assembly, maybe. High frequency trading firms. High frequency trading firms not just use C, they also use Java. Java is not just for roly-poly enterprises. Some use CPP, some use this thing. I don't know if who uses Clojure and OCaml, I think. What is that bank? I don't know if they're HFTs or just simply a bank, if they're into trading or not, but yeah, so but yeah, I'm not learning C for anything. It's just for fun. I don't learn anything for anything. I'm just learning for fun. Why not? Why do you have to always do something for something? Why can't you just do something for nothing? Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Okay, so if the price is greater than or equal to buy price, and before people go haywire like, hey, you're mixing snake case, camel case, and all cases, my code, buddy. My code. Nothing matters. It doesn't really matter. For a very long time, since coming from Java world, I like camel case. I don't like camel case anymore because I feel this is more readable. Snake case is more readable. So whatever. Let's just check. If it's greater than or equal to, well, I did that wrong. So actually, let's do that. If this is this, I'm gonna say by price is equal to price, right? Else, I'm gonna get the profit out of it. So the profit is price minus by price, but I also want to get the max of max profit and this thing, and we going to have to reassign this back to max profit. Now I don't quite remember, I just did it and I forgot, so let's look at it again. It's in this pattern. I just did it and I forgot. That's like I'm a goldfish. We also need to include a search, and I want to actually do that. Why are you not giving me an error? So it's giving me a warning, but how is that not an error? Like if I have a return type, so if I if I have a return type of this, it's still a warning. What if I have a return type of this? That is still a warning. That's fascinating. I didn't quite know that. See, it's my code, my choice. Exactly. My life, my choice. Exactly. Exactly. You get it, buddy. You are the one. Fuck you. Stupid autocomplete. Return max profit. Cool. Question is, does this code even work? I hope so. That works. Submit. Okay, cool. Now, make notes of NB for problems 0, 1, 2. Check the solutions. What I do is consider day 0 as by price. Then for the next day, if price greater, consider a sell and find profit. If not, set BP to. So you solve it and upload to GitHub. What's the reason behind it? If not, set BP to current price. So you solve it and upload it to GitHub. What's the reason behind it? Solution is correct. Okay. Since we must buy before we sell, the best profit on a given day is the day's price minus the lowest price seen on or before. So we sweep from left to right, treating day 0 as the initial buy price and tracking the minimum. Price is not higher than buy price. Is a cheaper buy, update buy price. Price is higher. A sell here yields price. Keep it if it beats max profit. Every day is considered a potential sell against the cheapest buy that precedes it. So the single pass covers all valid buy sell pairs. If prices only fall, no sell ever improves on 0, which is a correct do nothing. Single pass, only 2 scalars are tracked. Makes sense, but I don't want to put any words in here. It should be self-explanatory, right? Yeah. Also, do we have draft? Yeah, we have draft. We don't anymore. Okay. So we solved 4 problems. Can we solve one more? I really want to solve 5 and then go valid palindrome. Let's quickly actually solve another problem and let's go. So the question here is, so you solve it and upload it to GitHub. What's the reason behind it? Why not? Why? I mean, that's a very crazy question. Crazy, bro. I mean, but just do that for fun. I mean, I can. That's why I do it. Let's quickly do this, right? Okay. So problems and 0, 1, 2, 5 valid palindrome, right? Do that. So problems 1, 2, 5 valid palindromes. Solutions. So in here, I want to say 3, 1 problems. Yeah. Why is it this? Okay. I cannot see. Okay, so what was this? 125. 125 valid palindrome. Palindrome. What else do you have in here? 2 pointer strings. 2 pointers strings. And I'm just gonna say valid palindromes. Drums palindrome. Okay, cool. This should be fairly simple thing. This should be a very fairly simple thing. So one thing we can do is quickly find out length. About that. So I think it's SVR length and S, and you have int length. And I have to include string or strings, I don't know. So one thing about this thing in here that we have to look for. Awesome, that didn't quite work as I meant to do. SVR length. It calculates the length of the string pointed by S, excluding the terminating null bytes, which means that whatever I look at, if I look at the length position, it's really not the last one, but it's technically the last but one. So I don't have to go length minus 1. I can do, so I can go from length, right? So in here, int left is 0, right is left, while left is less than right if s at left is not equal to s of right. I can simply say sorry, return false. I hope that was not too loud. I'm sorry. And in here, I'm going to say left plus plus, right minus minus. क्या problem है? Return true. So I also have to include standard food, I think, and if I do that, aha, wait a second. I'm a phrase is palindrome if after converting all the upper cases into lowercase characters and removing all alphanumeric characters, it reads the same forward and backward. After converting all the uppercases to lowercase and removing all non-alphanumeric characters. Awesome. I am the stupid guy. If s of left, I'm going to access it a couple of times. So here L can simply be s of left and R can be s of right. If I believe there is something called is alpha, is alpha. Yeah, so it checks for an alphabetic character. The standard C is equivalent to. Wait, what? There may be additional characters, which is like, just tell me which characters they are. Checks for an alphanumeric character is equivalent to alpha num. Oh, alnum is alpha num. Alpha is just alphabets. But we're looking at non-alphanumeric. Okay, cool. So what we have to use is alnum. Where is this located? Is alnum. This is in C type. Okay. Include C type. Is alnum. So if this is the case, I can simply say left plus plus, and I need to continue. And so is the case for the right one. So I have to say right minus minus and continue. If this is this, or s of left XOR 32, if I'm not wrong. We can quickly check that. So ordinal of this thing is this, and is it 32? Yes, it's 32. So 32 is not equal to s of right. Then you return false. Well, we have to wrap it in because fucking preference. Okay. Yeah. Now I feel this should be correct. Hopefully this is correct and not wrong. I still am wrong. Why? Where am I wrong? Also, when I say this, print f left is b, right is b. Left. Okay. This is 29. Is this really? Sorry. How the length is 20? Oh, the length is 30. Okay. So what is the problem? Well, the first thing is we should be actually saying this is L and this is R and this is L. This is R. That's the first thing we should say. So left is capital A, which if you XOR with 32, it just becomes 97 or whatever. What is the one? 97. Should become 97. It has to be AND because of De Morgan's law. This is equal. So, okay. Why I was wrong. Technically speaking, I am saying the truth case is L equals R, or this thing, right? So it's either this or that. If either of the conditions are true, it's true, and you move forward. Now, what De Morgan's law says is that if I'm trying to negate the condition, so I'm inverting the conditions here, this also needs to be inverted. That is why this is wrong. Now, it should work. Yep. Sorry, my bad there. Yes. What I want to do here is I'm just gonna, let's actually L should be equal to R, or L's or 32 should be equal to R. It's either. Now I think it should be correct. I'm just gonna check it one more time so that I'm not making a mistake. Fucking, I made another mistake. What did I do wrong again? Oh, damn it, dude. I did the exact... Fucking brain is rotten. I did something wrong again. It just worked. And now it doesn't work. Wait, what? It just worked, right? Or did I see it wrong? No, it just worked because I submitted it. So, wait, what? Damn it, dude. Damn it, dude. Sorry, I'm rushing a little bit because... Rushing a little bit. Cool. I mean, why am I saying it quickly? Solution done for problems 0, 1 to 5. Write the name stuff in the 5. Problem statement. Ugly blah blah whatever. So let's quickly actually exit out. Wait. Why did I stop it? I don't know. Why did I stop it? Write the nodes dot 5 for problems 0, 1 to 5. Okay. So I'm gonna go offline now. After I quickly make a commit and then I see the website go live again. I mean, the updates go live. So anyone have any questions? Like somebody asked me why I upload to GitHub. I don't know. I mean, why not? A palindrome reads the same both ways, so we walk two pointers inwards from each left, right. Both alphanumerate, they must match advanced inwards. The case insensitive check is this, asks the upper, only different bit 5, the value 32. So, oh, yeah. So I remember I was reading it in that way. Because the fifth bit is actually this thing. So for the fifth bit is 2 to the power 532. So if you XOR it, it's just gonna flip that guy, and you have it on the other this thing. Digits only reach the XOR test when they already differ. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly. I don't quite like an explanation when it's not needed. What? Notes cover the two-pointer inward skipping, and an explanation of this thing initially points at terminator. No, str length gives you. Let's actually. Okay. It returns a number of bytes in the string before the terminating. So, for C, a string is a char array with the last character as null byte. Do you understand now? Or I need to keep blabbing? Okay. Yes, understood. No more blabbing. What? What you're saying? A C string is just a character terminated by a null byte, so there is no length stored anywhere. The null byte is the length marker, so ABC is really this. Everything follows from that. str length counts up to, not including this thing. The array must have room for the terminal, blah blah blah. Lose the. How the fuck does length, which is length of char star without the null terminator, actually lands on the null byte? Fucking stupid. Okay, this is where, like, I don't want to waste tokens right now, but you can see it's. But Esther counts character before its dominator. Those character occupies through. What? Like, fine. I'm gonna change my solution. What kind of hallucination and explanation is this? And that also works. What the fuck? What the fuck? But the total length is this, and you're giving me a length without the null byte. So shouldn't I be landing on that? Like, I am dumb. AI 1. Wow. Print F. Length is this. Char is C. Right. Length and S of length. Not false. Whatever. That is fucking. It still lands on. Wow. Why? Why does it land on that? This one overflows then. Okay, and it says that okay, you overflow. I'm not getting it. I'm honestly not getting it. Actually, loot STTIOH and string name here star s is equal to hello. Printf length is this and str. Also str length returns an unsigned long. So maybe this is you. Long. Length is 5. That makes sense. Because what you see is 5. But in memory layout, there's an extra length. So str length, the way to understand str length is it just shows you str length is like in Java. I can say that. So str length will give you back the number of bytes that you actually see, not the null terminator. But that is not the length of the array. The length of the array is 6. Because it's giving the size of the pointer, which is 8 bytes on my machine. Makes sense. That would make sense. But how do I suspicious use of size of? Wait, what is it? Bug prone size of. No. What I want to do is the length of the array, which is size of. How do you do length of an array? How do you do length of an array? So usually what you would do is if you have the total length, you can divide by like array length is count of the elements into so you never consider null. Length of each character, length of each element into the number of elements. What is the number of elements? The number of elements is 5. C compiler by default, or who is actually putting in a null? Anybody knows on the chat? Any low-level developer who's pretty good with C and can tell me that what on earth is this sorcery? Anyone knows on the chat? This is something to really look into. So I didn't know, and AI was not hallucinating. It was actually telling me the truth. But anyways, blah blah blah. Let me ask it to fix it. I really don't want to fix it now. Check if. Just do it. LSP. I have clanged the LSP. What do you want? Cool. I think I have clanged the LSP, don't I? Anyways, who cares? So everything has 2 each. And if I just go to this thing, well, how do I just grep in this files? Can I do that? Git sd grep, something like that. Can I do grep in here, by the way? Short branch show porcelain. Okay, long, ignored, no renames, blah blah blah, etc. 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 So, let me quickly see. So this is not draft. Solution. This is not a draft. 04. Solution is not a draft. Two, one, not a draft. This is also not a draft. Leetcode 70, 100, 104, 121, 125. Okay, cool. So, I'm gonna be leaving now, but yeah. So let me quickly see. Yeah. So I'm gonna be leaving now. If you actually found the stream, recreational. If you actually found the stream, good. Do consider hitting subscribe. Do consider hitting a like on the video. I am planning to make videos, and because like coming live and all of those things take some time. Even making a video takes time. I think maybe that is more. Um, that's more effort. It needs more effort, but yeah, whatever. I still want to make videos and not just live streams, so I'm gonna quickly make a video. What failed now? Why do you have to fail? Okay. uh, Read commit allow empty. Is that what it is? Yeah. So I'm gonna make videos. That's what I want to say first thing, and second thing is do consider subscribing, do consider liking the videos, and you should get notifications. And do let me know if there's something very specific you like or don't like about the videos, and I'll try to change it. This is for me a more. I started this because I want to treat this as more recreational programming, learning. Recreational programming is more inspired by Soding, Alex Kutipov. If you have not seen his channel, you should really visit. So Ding, that's one of his channels. If you're into programming, this is absolute gem in my opinion, and daily, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just doing free promotions for him because he absolutely deserves it. He absolutely fucking deserves it. Okay, so you can watch the streams if you're actually in programming and you really love education programming. I learned the entire concept from him, just coding for fun, nothing else. And do consider, yeah, why is it failing? Did it actually upload? If it actually did up, wow, it doesn't even come up on top. I have to do something about this. What is this? Okay. Yeah, it's not actually deploying. What is the issue in here? So let's actually quickly see what's the issue. Mm-hmm. What is the issue though? The Punicode module is deprecated. Please use a userland alternative instead. No deprecation, trace, blah blah blah, etc. 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 One of the things. Explain error. Okay, can you explain it? This thing? Can you explain what is the issue? Oh my god, everything is fucking AI now. This is a transient error that happens when GitHub infrastructure is temporarily down successfully, but the status check failed. This is a temporary infrastructure report problem. Here, retry the deployment. Okay, manual retry. Wait and retry. Retry the deployment. Manually retry. Wait and retry. I gotta take a screenshot of this. I'm going to definitely take a screenshot of this. Okay. Cool. I think now I have to leave. I'm just going to try one more time. Enable debug logs and see what is happening. Is my action old? There's new action. What happened? Oh, okay. Now it's success. So I guess we are good in here. Our deployment status is success. So just made me do some bunch of fake commits for no reason. Wait, what just happened? Do I have to hard refresh or something? Why it didn't come up, by the way? I'm not getting it. Because the Cloudflare CDN that I'm using might not be refreshed yet. But why is it not refreshed? So settings, cache. Can I delete the cache? Clear data for specific sites. Cool. Websites are currently using 1.1 GB space. Dude. The fuck. Okay, now it's there. So the web's now this thing is updated. So there are some solutions in here. Yeah, cool. So now do consider visiting the website if you want to leave in some comments, maybe say something about my way of coding or something like that. There are ways to actually put in your comments. You just have to sign up with GitHub. This is this is driven through GitHub. This is driven through GitHub, the comments section. So if you want to leave something, you can leave it there. Cool. I'm gonna quickly go today, and yeah, we streamed for almost 2 hours. Even saying we're not gonna stream, we almost streamed for 2 hours, and okay, we are at 17 out of 75, which is around probably 1/4 or something. Cool. So we are making some progress. We're gonna keep making some progress on this and see. Let's see how much of Leetcode we can solve in C. I'm sure at some point I need to actually start coding with Claude and not just delegate it to write the notes MD. But yeah, that's fair enough. Everybody, it's fair enough to use Claude nowadays. So exit. Sorry. So this is exit. This is exit. Cool. Thanks so much. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, I'll see you again in the next stream. Bye bye. Everybody have a happy weekend. Have a happy Monday tomorrow, and we'll see each other soon. Thank you.